All right, we are back for another episode. This is the post game presser from week one. Ugly matchup. Let's talk to coach. He has to say. Ugh, it's a rough one. Rough one for the guys today. I really, I mean, when you lose like this, I don't know what you really say. I mean, I guess I feel like most coaches would be short. I'll try to be as transparent as possible. Just a rough one, tough way to start the season. Don't like to get beat like that. Um, No. Any questions from you guys? I'll take your questions. I guess we start from there. Like I don't really have much to say. Just a bad outing, top to bottom. Didn't coach well. Didn't execute well. Players didn't play well. How usually how you lose games. This is a handful of games. I'd say that you probably lose. And most games in the course of your season is a play here, a play there. You can circle 3 to 5 plays and say, hey, those plays change. This was not one of those games. Just from top to bottom, we got beat. So I'll take your questions. Coach, the team got off to a really slow start. Do you think it was because they weren't mentally prepared to play the game? I wouldn't say that. I thought we were ready to play. We had a good game plan going in. The game just got away from us early. Some bad execution. We missed a couple of plays early, and it just kind of spiraled out of control from there. You can't get down on the road big. Getting down on the road big, um, it always ends bad. Like I don't know what else you want me to say. Can't get behind big when you're on the road, taking the ball first. Really feel like you have to go out there and put up points. We went three and out. They walked down the field right after, and looked like we had a good drive going. We're pushing down the field, and then we have a pick six, and then the game just from there is like we were never in it. I don't know what we can do different coaching, what we can do different. In terms of execution, we missed some plays out there for sure. They did too. We just did not play well. But I wouldn't say we weren't ready to play. We were definitely fired up, ready to start the season. And it just, I'll say this: I'm ready to go home. A home game would be nice. Some home cooking. Next question, Coach. I know the score may make it hard to determine, but in your eyes, where did the game start to get out of
Hmm.
hand? Turning point of the game. Kind of hard to say because we got beat so bad. I'd say in the first quarter, there's two missed plays that stood out to me. The third down on the first drive, Fields had Mooney. I forget the play that we called that got sent in, but it was with the flanker running a curl route. It was covered. You had the corner and the slot corner there, and he was trying to get him the motion to run up the field. He broke the pocket, and it's like just kind of moving, trying to see if something would happen. And there was a ton of room behind him, and just a miscommunication on their part. He's trying to get him upfield. I don't know what the receiver was thinking when he saw it, but clearly he's trying to send him upfield. There's a ton of room back there. It's a first down and some extra yards, and you have a safety down there, so it's a chance for 20 plus in a big play, and we get nothing. Drive stops. We have to punt. They walk down the field and score. That was one. And the second one, going on the sideline. Definitely from a coaching perspective, I was frustrated. So like I see the guy open, and it's like, hold on, what are you doing? Like I need to talk to you guys when you get to the sideline. Forget the offensive coordinator. So, Fields comes to the sideline, like, what was that? And he told me that he had David running a flat route. It's a miscommunication. He thought he was running cutting up field, and basically he just cut up right into the lane of the linebacker. It's an easy interception. Like, he's just running right into the zone. Had he kept it flat, he completes the pass. The drive continues. We're already in scoring range. Maybe we get a touchdown. Maybe we turn it over later. But in terms of momentum, we still have the ball. Those two plays, we don't convert. We have to punt. They score. And then we throw a pick six. They score. So 14 points right there. And you just feel the overwhelm. Like the crowd's really into it. And just the momentum, like all the air out the sails, just gone after that. All gone. So we had a chance early to maybe have a different path going forward, but we miss on both of those plays, and ultimately, you know, nothing comes of it, and they do what they do on the other end in Detroit. So kudos to them. Next question. Uh, uh, Rattler played well. Perfect quarterback rating. Like, we were talking about it on the sideline. Like, this dude has 3 incompletions. Two of them, the only 2 times we got pressure during the game, we got pressured 3 times. Two, he's able to roll out and throw the ball away. Mac was chasing him down, I believe, both times. Maybe it's Quinn the second time. But I know Mac for sure on one. And then the other one, we hit him. Thought we were going to get a sack there, and maybe, maybe we get something, sack, fumble, just something, a positive play on defense. And he just is able to get the ball away. That's it. Every other pass that was thrown out his hands was to a receiver that was wide open. So defensively, we have to be better. Um, Definitely very frustrated. I saw the defensive coordinator frustrated in the box. No, there's just some things that can happen when you're playing deep. Like, I know I'm the head coach, but I'm more of a defensive guy, so I can talk a little more about this. When you're playing deep and you have guys that are playing cover three, so you're playing the deep third. So, for those, I don't want to get into a big football lesson here, but cover three means essentially you have 3 players that are covering each third of the field. Is divided up into thirds, and you're playing deep. No one gets behind you. And I'm watching our best corner just sit kind of soft, like sitting in the zone instead of just dropping back. Like, there's no reason for you to sit. The receiver is attacking you. And, I talked to Jalen on the sideline. He's a little frustrated. Like, hey, you got to keep going back. You can't slow down. You can't stop because you sitting just lets him run right by you, and it's an easy pitch and catch. You can't have that happen. Your responsibility is to play the deep third. If something is completed in front of you, hey, kudos to them. It's a good play called, but you cannot get beat deep. That can't happen. Cover three, cover four, when we call those coverages, is because we want to take away the deep ball. If that's the strength of that play call, that can't happen. So bottom line, the secondary's got to play better. No one defensively played well. When they ran the ball, we didn't stop the run. We got no pressure. When they passed the ball, Rattler had all day to throw the ball, and people were wide open. So just defensively, it was just an F across the board from the defensive line all the way back to the secondary. We have to be better. You have to be able to take something away. They could run the ball inside. They ran the ball outside. They passed inside over the middle of the field. They passed outside. When we ran man, they were open. When we ran zone, they were open. So at the end of the day, defensively, you got to do something. They did nothing. I don't want to throw my guys under the bus. So, part of it's coaching. We have to put them in better positions. But again, the players are out there on the field. You got to execute. If we give you bad plays, that's on us. But when we give you good plays, and they call something that should be a W for us, we can't have an L on the play because of the execution, and that happened a little bit too much today, especially in the run game. Deep ball for sure, but especially in the run game, just too many missed opportunities. You've got to be better. Just plain and simple defensively, we got to be better. Offense didn't play well either, but defense has to be better. Rattler, good outing for him for sure. Great way to start a career, but we didn't do anything to make his job difficult. Hopefully, the second time we face him, we'll get a little more pressure, and/or the secondary plays better to make some of those windows tighter. And I think maybe if I'm remembering right, there was a throw to Brown and two to the running back on flat passes. Outside of that, everything guy was just open, no pressure, no no ability to be able to contest a throw. Got to be better. Just got to be better. Maybe I'll take it back. There's one end zone throw, um, where the corner. So I think we had one pressure where he threw it away, one where he got hit as he was trying to throw the ball, but it was incomplete. And then the one in the end zone, Jalen did play that well. Fought, up high pointing the ball with the tight end, and was able to make a play. So, other than that, pretty much the guys are open. Defensively, we have to be better. As a coaching staff, we have to put our guys in better positions, and guys got to execute. Plain and simple. So kudos to Rattler, but we didn't play well. Coach, it looked like Justin was really struggling out there. Definitely his toughest day so far. Anything that you want to comment on about that? Hmm. That's a tough one. Phil's having a tough day. You're gonna have to define tough day for me. I guess so. I have a different perspective on this. If you want to look at it, I mean, Look at the stat sheet here. He threw 7 interceptions. That's never a good day. He's 33 of 54. One thing I don't like that imbalance in terms of attempts, but clearly we got behind. We were down 2 scores like that. So we kind of have to pass the ball more. But we did see some things. He saw some things. There were some concerns that I had. He didn't play well because he made some mistakes, but there were some things that weren't his fault too. So let's just talk big picture. Can't turn the ball over that many times, period. They scored 21 points off of your turnovers. They had short fields off of some others. You can't turn the ball over that much. The easiest way to lose a game in football is to turn the ball over. We were -7 in turnovers. And let alone we didn't convert a fourth down that we should have converted. You run goal line against a soft box, a 3-man front. I think the left outside linebacker rush, it's 4 against 8. There's no way you lose that, and we find a way to lose. Offensive line's got to be better. And now I kind of want to talk about that. The offensive line in general. You had 3-man rushes where they got pressure. That can't happen. Whether we're sending 5 out there, whether we're sending 6 out there to block. If they're only rushing 3, that should not be something that causes problems. And we saw that too often where they were able to drop 8 back in coverage and cover everything. It looked like it's like, damn, it felt like there was 12 people, 13, 14 people out there in coverage. And even with only a rush of 3, Fields couldn't, Justin couldn't get out and put any pressure with his feet because he couldn't get out the pocket. So they're able to keep him in the pocket and no one's open. So we have to do a better job in terms of play calling. We did see some things that we liked, but unfortunately, we just, you got to keep getting 10 yards and keep having big negative plays, whether it's a sack, whether it's just 0 yards because of an incomplete. Like, you can't have those. You got to keep we have to be able to get some momentum on offense. We had some on that second drive where we got things going. Um, a lot of cover 3 from them. It looked like they were pulling the guys in the slot towards the middle of the field, so it opened up stuff on the outside. They changed it later and ran some cover 2 and some cover 4, so it helped to take that away. But we saw it early, but there were just things out there that we wanted to do that we weren't able to do. We couldn't attack the ball deep. We did hit one to Mooney late in the game, late in the second half, but and they're bringing guys in the box. We're not beating them deep. The more guys that are in the box when you're passing the ball, the tougher it is to pass it short because there's just so many bodies there. We got to execute better, and part of it's the offensive line. One thing that I think we'll look at, when we go over the film, we have to be able to run the ball better. The running game was bad, and that didn't help Fields. So we're talking about Fields. I mean, he threw for 376, a touchdown. I mean, in most cases that'd be good, but then 7 interceptions is bad. The problem really was they just got to sit back with 8. They were sending 3 and 4 and stopping the run. I mean, if they're going to do that and stop the run, I mean, what can you do from a passing perspective? They're not rushing the passer. They're not playing the run, and they're still stopping it. They're stopping the run on the way to the quarterback, even without a rush. So that's a problem. We do need to run more though, because when you run the ball, it forces people to blitz. It will pull people out of coverage. That's something that we didn't do. Obviously, that's something we wanted to do going in to keep a balanced offense. What, 14, 15 rushes compared to 54 passes? That should never happen. Even if you get down, like, you still have to be able to run the ball in order to keep things from getting silly. And then we just let them sit back with dropping 8. Got to be better. We didn't help Justin out today. He made some bad throws for sure, some bad reads, but we have to do a better job of helping him out. When I say helping out, it's with the play calling and being able to dictate what the defense is doing. We can't let the defense dictate our offense. We need to be able to do it to them, and we didn't do a good job of that today. So that's what it is. Oh, then you asked that question. Like, that's pretty much what I was talking about. We have to run the ball more. 14 carries. What? 14 carries. Look at the play. No box score here. 14 carries, 46 yards for Montgomery. We ran the ball 15 times for 47 yards. Like I said, they weren't loading up the box, and we couldn't run the ball. When I say loading up the box, I'm saying that they are bringing linebackers in and bringing in safeties to play the run within that box right behind the defensive line. They weren't bringing guys in the box, and we weren't able to run the football. So we have to do a better job of being able to create creases for David to have to run the ball. And also, the better you run, it opens up the play action and it forces safeties to hold. It forces linebackers to blitz because you can't just sit back and drop 7 and 8 in coverage. Then you get better looks because, like, okay, now they're blitzing, so now it's 6 against 5 or 6 against 4. It helps your odds out. So we have to do a better job of making an effort to run the ball. We'll do a better job of it next week. We'll be more conscious of that going in for sure. But we just couldn't do it. And part of that is on the offensive line. You got to block better. When you have the advantage up front, you should not be getting just beat down like that. It looked like we were, you know, I joke about it sometimes, with the Power Rangers when they're fighting the putties. The Power Rangers clearly outnumbered, but they're just mowing through them. And that's what it looked like. The defensive line for them were Power Rangers. We are outnumbering them with offensive linemen and tight end, and they're still winning. That shouldn't happen. We have to win the matchups you're supposed to win. When you have the advantage in the box, you have to win, and we didn't do that. Didn't get the run game going, and it is one of the reasons why we got behind so big.
So overall, coach, I think it's safe to say you're not happy with the trench play.
Yeah, trench play wasn't good overall. Defensively, it wasn't good either. Like I said, we got pressure on him twice. Rattler had all day to throw the ball. That can't happen. You can't leave a quarterback all day, no matter how good or bad a quarterback is. You put Tim Tebow out there and you let him sit all day, eventually he'll complete a pass. Guys are just going to be open. Zones thin out. Man, you can only cover for so long on the back end. You got to get pressure. We didn't get pressure. The coverage wasn't good either, so it made the defensive line look worse. When they wanted to throw the ball quickly, it was there. When they wanted to wait, it was there. We have to force him to get the ball out quick. Rattler never was under pressure the whole game. As I said, just a really bad performance defensively from top to bottom. The defensive line's got to play better. The Vikings will be tough coming up, but this was definitely a disappointing day. Matt got one pressure. No one else got one. Quinn got one. That's it. Two pressures, but only passed the ball 19 times. But still, two pressures. Got to do better. You pressure some of those tighter, or maybe not the tighter throws, some of those deeper throws. That ball comes out differently. Maybe we get a turnover. Maybe the game, turns in the second quarter and we can get back into the game. But without pressure, none of that stuff happens. We gotta do a better job. Plain and simple. All right, I'll take one more.
Coach, I know that this may not be the right time to ask you, but you got the Vikings next.
Uh,
Any early thoughts?
well, whew, we gotta look at the game tape. Start from there. We played the Vikings twice last season. Same coach, great coach. One loss, one undefeated in the regular season. Only loss was to the Super Bowl champs, the Cardinals. Uh, I think the biggest issue that we had with the Vikings last year was the defensive line. The same thing with this game. We like to run the ball. We want to have a balanced offense. I love to pass the ball. I also love to run the ball. Keep it balanced. Keep the defense on their heels. And playing the Vikings, their defensive scheme gave us a lot of problems because it seemed like our offensive linemen were confused. The guards and tackles were confused on who they should be blocking, and you got guys shooting through, shooting gaps, blowing up plays. I don't know if we have found an answer for that. We're going to try some different things. I feel like we're still evaluating. The second game was closer, but also the second game, admittedly, he already has a bye clinch. He's not trying to get anyone hurt. And hell, the first game, Cook was, suspended by the league, so we didn't get to see the Vikings at full capacity either. We still have yet to see that. So we'll get the full look at the Vikings now. It's going to be on the road, so again, we're going to have a tough time. We start out on the road for a handful of games is kind of tough. Um, but we're going to have to do a better job up front. Like ultimately, at the end of the day, for the Vikings, the only way we're going to be able to keep ourselves in this game, Fields will have to protect the ball, but the offensive line has to play better. We're going to have to be able to run the ball. We can't have any missed assignments up front. And defensively, we got to be better than what we were this week. I mean, I don't think giving up 75 points is going to happen again. I think that's a safe thing to say. I hope so. I mean, coaches, we okay with that? Okay, yeah, they're nodding their head too. 75 probably shouldn't happen, but 10's gonna have to also can't happen. Got to put up more than 10 points. So we'll have to figure out something offensively, come up with a better game plan. We'll evaluate stuff. This is one of those, I want to say burn the tape. We're not. We're going to have to sit through and look at the tape, be mad, be frustrated, point fingers in the film room. It's okay. We'll burn it afterwards and say, hey, it's one game. Ultimately, you lose by 65, you lose by two. It's the same thing. We're 0-1. So one game's done. It's a division game. It's a tough one. We have a division game coming up. Let's see if we can put out a better showing here and just get to this, at least at this point, just get to the second half and still be reasonably in the game. Go into the second half and actually be like, okay, we'll make some adjustments here. Maybe we can pull this out. Hopefully, we'll play better. If not, these chairs might start getting a little hot. But I believe in our guys. I really, really do. And we'll see what happens. But it's a tough one to swallow. No one likes to lose like that. It's not fun. It's certainly not fun standing for a couple hours on the sideline and having to watch your team just get their shit pushed in. So we'll see what happens next game. Thanks for your questions, and we'll see you next week. Talk about taking a big lump, blow, whatever you want to call it. Well, as they say, there's always another game. So with one under the belt, still 16 to go, we'll follow the Bears and the coach as they head to their next matchup. So next episode, week 2 preview. Make sure that you're sub to the channel so you can be notified when the next episode drops. Take it easy.